Welcome to Violet's DIY Style. I'm Violet. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope you consider subscribing. Also, don't forget to click on that bell button so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. So today I'm going to share with you how I made these adorable DIY farmhouse fall decor pieces using Dollar Tree items. The first thing I did is I went ahead and just printed out a pumpkin face. And then as you can see, I'm just kind of cutting it out just to make it small enough to fit on this tin can. And what I did was I went ahead and got some garden shears and just went ahead and cut the tin can split down right in the middle. This does take a little bit of time. If you have sharper scissors or shears, it would probably go a little bit faster. But if you also want to do this, I would recommend you use gloves. So once you do cut it in half, go ahead and get a placemat, again from Dollar Tree, and just kind of trace out a backing for your hanging planter. So all I did was just kind of make an oval shape on the top part. And as you can see, I just freehanded it because I knew that if I made it a little bit bigger than what I really actually wanted it, once I glued and attached the half of the tin can onto it, I could trim it off once I was done with that part. So I just went ahead and split that placemat right in half, cut out the shape that I traced out or drew onto the placemat. And then I did two of the backings. This DIY was so simple to make and it's so adorable. You can either leave it indoors or outdoors. The one thing I would recommend is that if you're going to use this outdoors, I would recommend you use some kind of permanent glue like E6000 or Fix All from Dollar Tree to attach the bucket onto your backing. So once you're done making your backing and you've made an opening just like you saw me do on mine, you can either leave them as is or spray paint them or paint them. I decided to paint mine because I wanted it to look more of that galvanized tin can look to match my buckets that I cut in half to put on the front. So what I did was just grab some gray, some sterling silver or shiny silver, and then a little bit of black. And these are the colors that I use in order to make a galvanized backing. So what I did first was just paint the backing with some simple gray color. And then I let that dry. So just go ahead and do that to both backings. Once they're done and they're all completely dry, what I did next was I mixed in the gray, the black, and the silver. Kind of just blended everything together, but not completely blended. Just enough to where I thought it would look like a galvanized. Then I just started stamping it or sponging it onto my backing. And you can add as much black or as much silver or, as much gray as you want to this galvanized look. It just all depends on how dark you want it to look. And just continue stamping it onto the backing until you're completely done with it, and then just set it aside and let this dry. So once it's all completely dry, what you're going to do next is you're going to go ahead and just stamp some black if you like, or some more sterling silver. Again, just making sure that you make it look the way you want it to look as a galvanized style. So of course you add a little bit of black if you want it darker, or a little bit of silver if you want it lighter. So once it's all completely dry, then go ahead and adjust your tin can right in the top, or your bucket. And then like I'm going to use mine indoors, so I just went ahead and used my hot glue gun to attach it to that backing. So just go ahead and add your hot glue all around the edge of your tin can, and then just flip it over onto your backing. And then just let this completely dry. As you can see, I'm pushing it down a little bit just to make sure it all adheres and grabs onto the backing. Then I went ahead and grabbed my hot glue gun and just went right around the outer edge of my bucket in order to make sure there was no gaps or openings. Now this part right here is completely optional. You don't have to do it, but I wanted just to make sure that it was completely sealed and there was no openings in case I do decide to add a real plant in here. I know that, you know, when I add water, it's not going to leak through or anything like that. So next, what I did was just trim off all that extra backing that I had made. Like I said, I did make mine a little bit bigger than what I actually really wanted it, just so I could do this. I just wanted to make sure that I had enough space to actually glue on my bucket to the backing. So once that was done and it was all completely dry, what I did was I went ahead and grabbed some orange color, and then I got this Dollar Tree like terracotta color, and I'm actually liking these paints. I've never used them until this time. I only bought this one color just to test it out, and I'm really liking the way it looks and the quality of it. So I am going to go back and grab some more Dollar Tree paints. So what I did was just kind of mix these two orange colors together just to make it more of a rustic look for me, because I wanted it to look more of a like a vintage farmhouse style look to them. So this is what I did, but you can just paint it orange and a brighter orange or whatever color you like, or leave it as is and just paint the pumpkin face black onto your galvanized bucket. So once I was done painting the entire front piece, the orange color, rustic color, I went ahead and set that one aside and then just started painting my second bucket. You guys let me know in the comments below, are you going to paint yours or leave them as is and maybe just paint the pumpkin face onto the actual galvanized look? I'm just curious to see how you guys are going to do it. So once I was done painting both of them, the rustic orange color, and let them completely dry, what I did was just grab some more just orange. And as you can see, I didn't wash my paintbrush or anything, but I just grabbed a little bit of orange just to add a little pop of brighter orange throughout my bucket. And then I let this completely dry. So once it was completely dry, I went ahead and just started cutting out and making a stencil of my pumpkin face. And I just went with the simple pumpkin face. There's so many different ones you can choose from. And if you're comfortable drawing it, you can even draw your own stencil. But again, I printed one out from the computer. All I did was just pick a pumpkin face and just, you know, pick whichever one I liked and printed it out. So once I was done trimming and cutting the stencil out, I went ahead and decided to go ahead and use black to make my pumpkin face onto my buckets. These little bucket holders are so adorable. You can wear them, use them in so many different ways. Even as maybe a door wreath, you can do something simple and just add a whole bunch of ribbons and florals into here and make it as a door wreath. That would be really adorable for fall. Or you can even put it on a bookshelf. You can even use this in your bathroom and add maybe some washcloths in here rolled up and not even use it for flowers or anything like that. But it still adds that touch of fall in your bathroom area because of the pumpkin face. So again, what I did was just grab some black paint and just easily trace in or color in my pattern. And it didn't bother me if it was perfect or not. Again, I wanted it to have that vintage look, so I didn't want it to be perfect and precise. So I didn't tape down my stencil. I just kind of held it with my hands and just painted it completely black. Then let it dry for a few minutes and then just peeled it off and did the same thing to my next bucket. And then once I was completely done and everything was completely dry, I went ahead and did spray some clear coat onto my buckets just to make sure that when I wipe them down or store them, they wouldn't get scratched and the paint wouldn't come off the tin. But that does also give it character, so you don't necessarily have to add that. And if you don't have that clear spray coat, you can easily use Mod Podge and just give it a really good coat of Mod Podge on top of this once everything's completely dry, and it does act as a sealant and protector of your paint as well. So I decided to leave them as is and not sand them down or anything. So this is the way they look. I still not sure how I'm going to use mine. So I just wanted to share with you how you might want to use them for fall. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. Until next time, stay blessed. Bye.